Kia ora koutou. Welcome. Saturday, day 17. I notice I'm almost losing count of the days. Another day at home. And just to let you know, I'm offering a trauma-sensitive yoga practice. You're welcome to participate, but always knowing that sometimes feelings can come up and you may want to opt out or perhaps move into a resting form. Today's practice is going to be slightly repetitive with a extended body scan awareness at the end. So it'll go for about 35 minutes. So when you're ready, you could work from a chair or practice from your chair or on your mat. It's up to you. So I'm going to start standing. I'm going to perhaps take a look around your room. You may like to take a look around your room. Perhaps bringing your awareness to notice where you're located in this space, where you're located in your space. If you like taking a breath, maybe looking behind. Then if you like, bring your awareness to notice where you place your feet. So one option could be to look. Another option could be to perhaps lift and lower your heels, or possibly lifting and lowering your toes. So maybe moving your feet. I just noticed that in my space there is a trampoline next door and some children playing on that, so you may hear some squeals of delight. So perhaps moving your feet. Finding your stability. Perhaps standing tall and breathing. Then if you like, lifting and lowering your arms. How you lift and lower is up to you. Maybe moving your arms. Then if you like, leaning forward, perhaps bringing your hands to your knees, or maybe your elbows to your knees and breathing. Maybe leaning forward and breathing. And then in your own time, perhaps lifting your arms, maybe lifting and lowering. In your own time, perhaps leaning forward and breathing. So if you're seated on your chair, maybe lifting your arms, maybe bring your hands to your knees or further down your legs, perhaps leaning forward and breathing. And maybe lifting your arms. And in your own time, if you like, bringing your hands to the floor and perhaps stepping back into what we sometimes call a lunge. Maybe stepping back into a lunge. And if you're seated, you might move to the side of your chair, maybe dropping your knee, perhaps bringing your hand to your side, or maybe out in front. So if you like, exploring a lunge and breathing. You might have your hands on your knees, or maybe hands out in front, possibly feeling sensation in your leg, maybe feeling nothing at all. And then if you like, moving back to kneeling. Maybe bringing your hands to the floor, perhaps tucking your toes. If available, maybe moving to your downward dog and finding your way to standing. So if you're seated, maybe leaning forward, perhaps raising your arms, finding your way to seated mountain, and breathing. Finding your stability. If you like, raising your arms, perhaps leaning forward. Like bring your hands to your knees or your elbows, and breathing. In your own time, perhaps raising your arms and breathing. If you like, leaning forward, perhaps bringing your hands to the floor, and if you like, stepping back with your opposite foot and dropping your knee, perhaps moving into your expression of a lunge. Might do it with my opposite foot. Sometimes we automatically step back with the same foot, at least I do. So maybe exploring a lunge. If you're on a chair, perhaps turning in the opposite direction. If you like, bringing your hands to your knees and looking up. Maybe bringing your arms out in front or possibly to the floor. If you're interested, exploring your lunge and breathing. In your own time, maybe moving back to kneeling. If you like, finding your way to upright, or perhaps tucking your toes, maybe lifting your torso. And in your own time, maybe bringing your hands towards your feet, finding your way to standing and breathing. If you like, raising your arms, maybe leaning forward and breathing. Your own time, perhaps raising your arms, maybe bringing your hands to the ground, stepping back with your foot, maybe dropping your knee, exploring your expression of a lunge, your lunge, and breathing. You might notice your breath is with you. You might notice it ebb and flow, come and go. You might notice nothing at all. That's okay. In your own time, this time maybe switching, perhaps switching to your other side, maybe moving to kneeling, if you like, stepping back with your opposite foot and breathing. Arranging your arms in a way that's useful for you. In your own time, perhaps moving back to kneeling, perhaps moving into what we sometimes call child form, possibly sitting back on your ankles. If you like, bring your elbows to your knees and perhaps resting your forehead in your hands, or maybe bringing your hands to the ground Perhaps resting your forehead in your hands. So if you like, finding your resting form, maybe child form. You may choose to have your knees together or knees apart. This is your choice. If you're interested, perhaps extending your arms and breathing. And maybe extending your arms and breathing. Perhaps noticing that your breath is with you. Maybe noticing where you make contact with the ground. Possibly looking, maybe moving. Then in your own time, maybe finding your way to all fours. I'll offer the seated next, and perhaps exploring some cats and cows. So if you like, dipping your spine, lifting your chin and looking up. And then in your own time, curling your spine, tucking your chin and looking down. If you're interested, you could coordinate your breathing with your movement. Possibly breathing in as you move in one direction, maybe breathing out as you move in another direction. If you're seated, what you may like to do is lengthen through your front torso, perhaps lifting your chin and looking up. And then in your own time, curling your spine, tucking your chin and looking down. If you're interested, perhaps synchronizing your breathing with your movement. So maybe breathing and moving. Moving into your resting form in your own time. If you like, resting your forehead on your hands. Knowing you're always welcome to move in the form, also welcome to move in and out of the form, or perhaps into a totally different form. This is your practice, your opportunity to explore movement as you wish. So then, if you like, maybe moving to kneeling. You could be seated or perhaps moving to kneeling. If you are kneeling, what you may like to do is use a cushion or a rug to perhaps support your torso. Move around. So maybe exploring kneeling, perhaps offering some support in terms of a cushion for your torso, and breathing. If you like, finding your expression of seated mountain, perhaps sitting up tall, possibly bringing your shoulders in line with your seat. And then if you like, leaning to your side. So one option could be to lean with your side, bringing your hand to the ground, or possibly raising one arm. So how much you lean is up to you. And if you like, switching at any time. So maybe leaning to your side, perhaps switching to your other side and breathing. Feel like moving in your own rhythm. Finding your way to neutral in your own time. If you're interested, perhaps moving your torso. One option could be forward and back, and another option could be in circles. Maybe moving your torso in circles. You're welcome to move in either direction. Possibly moving your torso and breathing. Finding your way back to neutral in your own time. And you may want to change from the way in which you're seated. Perhaps crossing your legs. So maybe finding another way to be seated. Like finding your expression of seated more and breathing. You're interested in a twist. You may like to bring your chin to your left shoulder, perhaps right hand to your right knee, and one hand behind you and sitting up tall. So you're welcome to experiment with rotating your spine. You may like to move a little or a lot, perhaps checking out how this feels in your body. Maybe rotating your spine. At any time, you're welcome to move back to center, perhaps sitting up tall. If you like, looking to your right shoulder, maybe bring one hand to your right knee and your other hand behind you, possibly twisting, maybe sitting up tall, perhaps breathing. You might feel some sensation through your abdomen. You might feel nothing at all. Anytime, you're welcome to switch, perhaps being guided by what you feel in your body. And possibly switching, maybe twisting. And breathing. Finding your way back to your expression of seated moana. And if you like, maybe moving to explore leaning forward. So you might like to have your legs crossed or extended. Or another option could be with your soles of your feet together. So if you like, bring the soles of your feet together, maybe leaning forward, perhaps tucking your chin and breathing. So if you like, leaning forward in a seated form and breathing. Anytime, you're welcome to move to upright or perhaps experiment with leaning back. So maybe leaning forward, perhaps leaning back, You might notice your breath is with you. Ebbs and flows, comes and goes. It's always there. In your own time, if you would like to move onto your abdomen, to perhaps explore a form on your abdomen, you're welcome to do that. If you're seated, you may like to extend your legs, maybe raising your arms, perhaps bending your elbows, possibly feeling sensation in your abdomen. So if you're on your mat, you may like to bring your shoulders under your, maybe bring your elbows under your shoulders, and placing your hands on the ground. And you could choose to look wherever you like, maybe up, perhaps straight ahead, possibly looking down. You might feel the sensation of your breath against the surface against you. And that is just a possibility. It's quite normal not to feel sensation. And in your own time, maybe bringing your forehead to rest on your hands. If you like, maybe experimenting with lifting and lowering your foot, knowing how much you lift and lower is up to you. So maybe moving your foot, perhaps moving your leg. Possibly noticing your breath is with you. It ebbs and flows, comes and goes, and it's always there. So in your own time, you may like to use your hands, perhaps pressing into the ground, maybe moving back into your expression of child form. If you're on your mat, maybe sitting back on your ankles, perhaps resting your forehead on your hands, or if you like, extending your arms and breathing. If you're seated, you may like to bring your elbows to your knees, perhaps resting your forehead in your hands. Maybe noticing where you make contact with the ground. If you like, perhaps finding your way onto your back for the last form of this practice. So if you're seated, you may like to experiment with moving your knees. So you may like to move one knee or both knees, either together. So perhaps finding a way to move your knees. If you're on your back, what you may like to do is bring your feet close to your torso. And one option could be moving your knees from one side of your mat to the other side of your mat. So maybe moving your knees from one side to your other side in your own rhythm. Another choice could be to lift your feet off the ground, perhaps bringing your knees close to your torso and moving your knees. Maybe moving your knees from one side of your mat to the other side of your mat. And if you are moving your knees, you might notice a change in pressure, maybe a change in sensation when you make contact with the ground. Always knowing it's only a possibility. It's quite normal not to feel sensation. So since it's Slow Saturday for me, I'm going to offer a slightly longer resting form. So you may like to put a rug over you, or possibly if you're on your mat, maybe bringing your knees to rest on a bolster. So you can't kind of judge the distance. But maybe resting your knees on a bolster, perhaps covering yourself with a rug, finding a resting form that works for you. Another option could be to bring your legs up the wall. They're choices. If you're seated, you may like to put a cushion under your knees, under your feet. Let's bring a cushion under your feet to rest your feet on and breathe in. So I'm going to offer a slightly longer body scan exercise. As always, you're welcome to tune my voice out. There's no requirement to do as I say. If you do want to follow the body scan, you could perhaps take your mind to the part I name, or maybe your hand, or possibly moving that part. So there's no requirement to be still. So finding a resting form that works for you. And if you like, taking a breath. In your own time, maybe bringing your awareness to notice sensation at your eyebrow center, sensation at the tip of your nose, sensation in your jaw, maybe moving your jaw. If you like, sensation in your neck, sensation in your right shoulder, sensation in your right elbow, sensation in your right wrist, sensation at the tip of your right thumb, your right index finger, right tall finger, right ring finger, and your right little finger. Sensation in your wrist, sensation in your right elbow, and sensation in the whole of your right shoulder, sensation in your neck, sensation in your left shoulder, sensation in your left wrist, your left elbow, sensation in your left elbow, sensation in your left wrist, sensation on the tip of your left hand thumb, sensation at the tip of your left hand index finger, your left tall finger, your left ring finger, and your left little finger. Sensation in your left hand wrist. Sensation in your left hand elbow. Sensation in your left hand shoulder, your left shoulder. Sensation in your neck. Sensation at your heart center, Aroha. Sensation in your right rib. Sensation in your heart center, Aroha. Sensation in your left ribs. Sensation at Aroha, your heart center. Sensation in your upper abdomen. Sensation in your lower abdomen. Sensation in the whole of your back torso. Sensation in the whole of your spine. Sensation in your lower abdomen. Sensation in the whole of your right hip joint. Sensation in your right knee. Sensation in your right ankle. Sensation in your right great toe. Sensation in your second toe. Your right third toe. Your right fourth toe. And your little right toe. Sensation in the whole of your foot. Sensation in your right ankle. Sensation in your right knee. Sensation in the whole of your right hip joint. Sensation in your lower abdomen. Sensation in the whole of your left hip joint. The whole of your left hip joint. Sensation in the whole of your left knee. Sensation in your left ankle. Sensation at the tip of your left great toe. Sensation at the tip of your second toe. The tip of your third toe. Sensation at the tip of your fourth toe. And sensation in your little toe. Sensation in the whole of your left foot. Sensation in your left ankle. Sensation in your left knee. Sensation in your left hip joint, the whole of your left hip joint. Sensation in your lower abdomen. Sensation in your upper abdomen. Sensation in your heart center, Aroha. Sensation in the whole of your front torso, all of your front torso. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in your jaw. Sensation at the tip of your nose. Sensation at your eyebrow center. Sensation in the whole of your body, your whole body. Sensation in all of your body, your entire body, all together. sensation in the whole of your body, all together. I'm going to offer some silence and then an opportunity for you to close your practice. But do know you don't have to move. You're welcome to stay in your resting form as long as you like. So do know there's no hurry to move. You may like to take a breath. If you're interested, perhaps taking a moment to acknowledge your intention for this practice. It may have been to nurture yourself or connect with yourself. It may be something totally different. But if you like, taking a moment to acknowledge your practice to yourself. So thank you for practicing with me. It's a lovely opportunity for me in my bubble to know I'm practicing with other people. So you're greatly appreciated. And do feel free to email me, send me feedback. It's always useful. So take care. Hopefully we're over the bump of 2 weeks, and soon we will be looking to moving slowly back into the world, back into our local areas. So fingers crossed, take care, kia kaha. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow, 12 midday as usual.